sometimes in life you can feel that you're going backwards and that you're not moving forwards and your life isn't going anywhere and that there's not enough time.
Yes, that's right, yes.
So we're today in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
We're going to be reading from our book, Stress Free in 3 Minutes, just one short little story or poem, whatever you would like to call it, anecdote.
Yes.
And it's called
One Step Ahead. When you take 2 steps forwards and 1 step back, you are always 1 step ahead of where you started from.
Sometimes it's easy to take 2 steps forwards.
To challenge and push yourself that little extra. And then it's comforting to know that you can take 1 step back and enjoy that feeling of what is still familiar to you.
Because you know that you are still 1 step ahead.
To the old you. Yet, you can appreciate that you've stepped out of your comfort zone.
Knowing that tomorrow is another day where you can take 2 steps forward.
Or even 3.
Knowing that you can choose to take 1 or 2 steps backwards.
Feeling all the while that you are growing and becoming self-assured. Because
you know that you are always 1 step ahead of the old you.
As you grow and learn, taking those 2 steps forward becomes second nature and easier to do.
One day, out of the blue, you may even forget to remember to take that 1 step back.
Yes, I like that.
I like it too.
I like it because it allows you to, yes, challenge yourself and, yes, push yourself and take that 1 step forward, but you can always go back to your comfort zone and not feel too freaked out by what you're doing.
I know.
And knowing that you're still going ahead, though.
Yeah, because
it's 2 steps, isn't it? But it's 1 step back.
Forwards and just 1
step back.
Because I think once you've taken the 2 steps forward, you can't really take 2 steps back. No, because your mind
has evolved and grown. Has learned how to do that and grown. You've actually made the effort. You've actually pushed yourself to take that 1 step.
It's like saying you don't think of a pink elephant. Once you've thought of a pink elephant, you can't not unthink it. It's there.
It's there in the room.
You've manifested
it. You can see it now. So you've taken those 2 steps forwards. You can take 1 step back and think, oh, phew, that was scary. Now I'll go back, and need a day off. But you've opened, for example, once you've opened that PDF and you've started to write, it's like for us, we had to actually write our books. Once you open that file, we knew you'd opened it.
You knew it opened and you started.
You started.
Even if you never published the book in the end, but you had the book there.
You took that step.
It'd been written.
It's like once you apply, then you just send that email off.
Yes.
That's it. You've done it. Now you can go back into your little safe space and think, oh, okay, I'm back in my comfort.
For instance, that's funny because my niece was telling me when I was in England, she was saying, I've applied for this, I did an audition for a part and I had to use a really Cockney accent and I was totally, and I looked so stupid and I feel so stupid. So everyone said, let's listen to it. And we all listened to it. And she goes, oh no, I hope they don't call me. But then they called her. And then she said, oh gosh, I can't go. And we all said, yes, you can. They've called you. You might as well now. And she went and she got the part.
There you go.
So, because she had done it, even though it was out of her comfort zone. It wasn't something she normally did.
She was embarrassed.
She was totally embarrassed. And she said, I just winged it. But she did it. And then she got the part. And she said, actually, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was funny.
She took that extra step.
Yeah, and then once they called her, she thought, I can't really say no now.
Once they call her, it's especially if she
said
she's doing acting.
Yeah,
she
goes, I can't say no now, can I? And we said, no, you have to go.
You have to go for it. So it's just, and I think the comforting thought about 1 step is that it's it's achievable. It's a doable thing, isn't it?
It's very
We're not
doable.
saying take
it can
10
be frightening,
steps.
but
It's doable.
It's doable, yeah. It's
Everything
not like,
is
it's
doable.
not like jumping off like paragliding off a cliff or something.
No.
The first step towards to doing that would obviously be going on a course to do it.
Exactly.
And then you go on a course and you get a feel to it, and then you might say, oh, I take one little step, and then you might go with the instructor.
You take one step out the airplane, you've had it. Or wherever it is off the mountain.
They don't make you do that.
No. First of all, you probably get the gear on. I don't know. I've never done that.
It's all in
step by steps, isn't it? Yeah, you're right.
When you're becoming, like, if for your first surgery, if you're a medical person, or if you're a scientist, if you're a scientist, for your first, like, working with something that you're not familiar with, the first time it's like daunting, but you don't just go. No one will they won't just let me into the lab or into a thing and start performing surgery.
No,
there's so many steps to get there. And then it's that first step where you have the inkling, you have the idea. It's when you block it and you say, no, I'm not taking that first step. That's a problem.
That's a problem. That's
because
when you get kind of stuck.
You can take the first steps and then
anyway.
You can say, oh, that's not for me, actually. But you're already so far ahead.
Yes. And then you can make a decision. Once you've taken that first step, then you can look back and say, okay, I'm going to go back. And you can go back because you're scared, and that's fine. It's fine to be scared. You go back, you rest, but you know you've already taken those 2 steps. So you're already 1 step ahead of where you were yesterday. So you've already grown. And you can take comfort in that.
Well, it's very satisfying.
It's satisfying to know that you did it, whatever it
your
was.
Self-esteem, isn't it?
Yes, it makes you feel as if you've done that, and you're always going to be 1 step ahead of the old you. And the old you is fine if you're very happy with that old you. But if you're thinking of taking...
I don't think it ever is fine, because you can't...
It's never fine because you become complacent and you become bored with your life.
Yeah.
I think it's essential to continue to grow by learning new things every day. Not every day, but
you can have, like,
no matter
the other
what
day
it
I went
is.
to get my eyes tested, and the optician, she said, I'm not good with computers. And I was thinking, yeah, okay, you're not good with computers, but, why don't you try and get good if you're not good? And she was getting really quite anxious about it. Because I was just sitting there and she had a problem. But, in the end, if you keep saying, I'm not good at this and I'm not good at that,
you're forming these limiting
beliefs about yourself. Whereas if you maybe took 1 step, if she takes 1 step that evening to say, let me figure out how this works.
Or ask a colleague, how does this work? Can you teach me? What is this? Is this some kind of program? Can you just teach me 1 thing about it today? Let me see if I can learn 1 thing. Become more curious, and you're just taking 1 little step forward. It doesn't mean you have to understand the whole program, whatever it was, but you're understanding, okay, so it's a table, it's something I can learn, I can put the patient's name in, whatever it was, I don't know what it was, but it's something that you can learn without stopping yourself and forming that belief.
Well, she did ask for help in the end, because she phoned someone up and they helped her get in, and she had to explain it was because she was on the computer and not on the tablet. But you could see that she was going through quite a lot of anguish about it, because, she didn't know me. And
probably because she had you in front of her.
She was just making me wait, and she kept, sorry that I'm making you wait. I'm so sorry. I'm not good with computers.
But she was learning, though, because she learned how to do it.
Yeah, she phoned someone up.
Yeah, well, that's good. She called for help.
Good, but I don't know if in the future she'll know how to do it. Like, if I was her, I would have taken that little extra step afterwards to just make sure that I always knew how to get into it.
She probably did. Because if she said it's not on a tablet, we don't have to go into this nitty detail of this lady, but I'm sure she, in the end, probably, if she found herself in one awkward situation.
Because I'm just thinking that there's so many people that don't open their minds up. So obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably not one of those. But
no.
If you stop just saying to yourself, if you keep saying to yourself that you're not good at something, and you never bother to take that 1 step towards it, you'll never get there.
So if you have a slight interest in that thing, go for it.
Or if something's causing you problems every day, like, for her.
A work thing, yes.
Yeah, a work thing. You know, just take those extra 10 minutes to go and ask someone how to do it, or, you know, take that first step.
Yeah.
It's so awkward not to, because you feel bad afterwards if you don't.
Yeah.
You feel like the world is like more of a
Complication. Everything
like
is
an
difficult.
enemy instead
Yeah.
of a friend.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
No, I do. I was thinking about my own limitations when I was younger, when I used to fly, and I was an air flight attendant, and there were certain things that my brain just couldn't get round in those days. I mean, you would think it was pretty basic, you know, how to
Because you couldn't see properly.
Well, maybe because I couldn't see. It was like when we had to do like the service in first class. It used to be called top class, I think, in Alitalia those days. I just couldn't get round it. I don't know why I couldn't understand it.
I think
Like
you
now
were a bit dyspraxic in those days.
Probably the numbers or whatever, or how to just follow a plan, how to do the service. It seems so easy now. How could I have not understood it? Why would I be freaking out? Maybe it's because I would be you know, these are things this is life, isn't it? You think something seems so easy now. How could it have seemed complicated once upon a time? So I say, be kind to yourself.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up.
Don't beat yourself up. But like, if I'd perhaps known what I know now about the mind and the brain and how it works, I wish I'd known.
Well,
I would have sat down and thought, okay, Yutka, this is a challenge for you, but learn. Like they would have diagrams and about how the galley was, and box here and box one, you get box one, and then the plates are in there, and other colleagues seem to understand where the whole map of everything was, and they would just grab it, like the wine glasses are in there, box 09. Now I would probably be able to imagine that in my mind, but then I don't know why I couldn't.
Maybe because you were overwhelmed at the time.
I don't know. I was just like thinking, I mean, I suppose it's not that easy. You know, I'm making it seem simple now, but it was a whole training. You would have to remember where everything was and do the whole...
I just think of the place settings, you know, when they
plate settings,
I used to think, how can my mother-in-law like set the table so beautifully?
Really, yeah.
With all the knives and forks and spoons. And if they ever said to me, set the table, I would feel like really like...
Incompetent
at doing
yeah.
it. Whereas now, it just seems...
Well, I suppose first class was a bit like that. You'd have to get the flute glasses. You'd have to remember all the different things,
and
all the different.
Position to put
Obviously,
them.
It wasn't like economy. We just have a little tray and just get it out and heat the food up, and that was it, you know. And then coffee and tea. But the first class was a challenge, and I would always, even though there was only 12 passengers, so ideally it would have been a lot simpler than serving 400 people.
Yes.
You know, you would think, but I would always like push me, oh, no, thanks, I don't want to do that. You know, I would be the first one to say no.
And that was the easiest job, really, wasn't it?
Well, kind of, because once you got the service done, there was only 12 people to serve. Most people were very educated and kind of, you know, they wouldn't cause problems in first class. They just go to sleep, you know, they're all happy. They get all their little wines and everything, and they'd be sorted. Or they were people that were of a certain, like they were politicians or actors, and so they were
famous.
They were, yes, they had
I suppose most people wanted to go there to be.
Yeah, they did. And whereas I would always be saying, oh God, no, because I can't understand the service of it. I don't know if any of you flight attendants will say probably sympathise with me, but it felt complex at the time. And you were supposed to study these books they would give us, but I would just not figure them out. So what I'm saying is that if I'd understood this one step forward thing, I would have probably said to myself, okay, push yourself one step, go and try and figure it out when there's nobody there, or go and visit the people in first class, because we were allowed to go upstairs and go and see what was going on. Go and visit them and ask them. Just say, well, how did you do it today? Where are the plates? Let me just take a look at the galley.
Slowly become familiar with it.
That's one step, isn't it?
Yes.
That's one step. You could do that.
But you just said, oh no, I'm scared
I would
of that.
hide back in economy where everyone used to smoke and I was a non-smoker and it was hell. But I would hide back there and just think, no, this is my comfort zone.
Yes, that was your comfort zone.
Whereas other people would die to get that position. You know, they would say, oh, can I do first class? You know, when you would have I'll do it. I'll be in the galley in first class. I would say, no, I'll go back there.
Yeah.
Back in the troops. I'll be with like the people I know and what I know and what I'm safe with.
This was what you were familiar with as well, coming from maybe a working class background. You weren't used to being around people that were maybe like you considered to be quite.
Yes, but yes, I did. I had the perfect. I would be able to do it perfectly.
Of course.
Because it wasn't like I didn't know how to speak or communicate. You had the training as well. Yes. You knew what you had to say. I mean, I did make one mistake once. I think I called somebody something that was not the right terminology.
Because they had
like the Pope.
Titles.
Yes, something. It was something. It was a big deal, but. Anyway, what I'm saying is that if you go in and you've already got a big advantage, if you can be kind to yourself and think it's one step forward, I will just take one step forward and I'm okay.
At this now, but I will be, and I might not be, and it might not be for me. It doesn't have to be. Everything has to be for you, and you have to be brilliant at everything.
No, and I don't have to be frightened of it. I can just open up.
The frightened, the being scared, the being I'm not doing it. The putting
I'm not good
down.
enough. I'm not good enough. You know, the self-worth. I think. Whereas I would see other colleagues that were just full of themselves, and they just had it, and they just thought, and then in the end, they weren't even that good.
Well, no.
So it's not like they
weren't any better than you.
Exactly. But they had that belief in themselves. So I think this is for you people that are a bit like us, you know, that maybe at the beginning you don't feel like you're good enough for that or for this or for whatever it is. Just take it slowly, step by step, I say.
Step by step. Every step of the way.
Exactly. You might even find that you'll take 3 steps forward one day.
I know, and then you forget to step back. Like for us now, this podcasting has become so natural.
Yes.
It's just like part of our everyday, where when we first started, it was like a complete
It was
enigma.
a big challenge. It was a challenge.
And it was scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do come and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at The English Sisters, and come and see us on Instagram, TikTok, The English Sisters. And wherever you get your podcast, please do send us a text message. You can send us a text message and say hi. And I think that's about it.
That's about it. Remember, take one step forward.
One step forward.
And you will always be ahead in your life.
Yeah. Lots of love and smiles from the
English Sisters. Bye-bye.